Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. We're back with little Lucy and she's had a bake and she's looking a little frowny. That's how she's supposed to look. But she looks pretty good and we're going to go on and continue with some of her enhancements. It may be a 3-step process or just a 2. I'm not sure which one. We've got her fingers colored a little bit on the ends. We've got her nails done a little bit. They're kind of fadey. They don't look real dark. But we're going to be working on her a little more, trying to get her to look a little more real. I really like the Lucy sculpt. She's a little grouchy baby, but she's cute. And I want to make her as cute as possible. So we're going to work on her face first. And we're going to see what it is we think we need to do to her. Her ears are quite bright pink. I don't know if I like that or not. But, oh well, we're going to work on her. I want to re-enhance some of her facial wrinkles with a little more purple because they just didn't get purple enough for me. I don't know. How purple do you want your wrinkles? You must ask. But I want to be able to see it over the top with colors over the top of it. Out of paper towels again. I'm trying to get that purple off my finger so I won't get it all over her. Okay, let's see. Right here, you can tell that I had put some purple right here in this little spot. Well, I'm touching it with something. Right here in this little spot, right here in this little spot. This one shows real good. This one doesn't. It does show, but not good. And the same thing over here. I put a little here and a little there. And these little dimple-looking things that she has, those are what you enhance because that's how it makes her wrinkles show. But yet some of them didn't color good. I don't know why. So I stopped and gave her a bake, and now they might color a little better. Let me get me a better sponge. These 2 sponges have had it. They are crumbling. I'm throwing them away. And I'm going to get a clean sponge from somewhere down in here. Here's one. Well, it's got a little blue on it, but that's okay. It's blue, yellow, purple anyway. So we're going to put a little bit of this on her little wrinkles. And we're going to try to make them show a little bit more than what they do. You don't usually have to worry about purple blending with too many other different colors. It's compatible with red. It's compatible with blue. It's just compatible. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, I put that purple on. I better not put any red on. It's not usually like that with purple. But anywhere where she has one of those little, if you can't see them well, you just hold her up to the light a little bit and you'll see those little indentations that she has that look like they're supposed to be frown wrinkles. And that's where we want to put our purple, and we want it to actually be dark enough where when we put paint over the top of it, we're still gonna, whoops, we don't want to do that for sure. That's a hard wipe right there to get that off. We want it to be dark enough that whenever we do put the paint on top of her colors, her enhancements, that we do still see the wrinkles. We don't have to, you know, they don't have to be bold or impressively dark or anything like that. We just need to see that little bit of what looks like a shadow. I can see it right now after a bake. I don't know. Everything lightens up after a bake. If you enhance it too much, then she'll look too grouchy. We don't want her to look that grouchy. But we do want her to look a little bit grouchy because that's what she represents as a baby that's asleep but having one of those little frowning things in their sleep. And we want it to show just enough that we can tell that she has that. And I'm going to enhance her nose a little bit more. I'm going to enhance this little dimple on her chin. I'm going to also enhance these little funny looking little things coming down from her mouth. I don't even know what they are. They're just wrinkles. That's all I know. Just a tiny little enhancement there. Tiny, tiny. And then I'll put a little under here on this little crease. Lucy has not had her second sealing yet, so we are still working on her enhancements. Ever since I started doing second sealing, I've really liked it, because it does kind of give them that little bit of protection that you want to have on your doll, where you know those things you just worked on so hard are not going to come off. Now, that doesn't mean that some of them won't get covered up, and that's just natural, that the colors kind of seep into the background, and in a way that is exactly what you want them to do. You don't want to see deep dark colors, enhancement colors on your doll. What you want to see is the effect that they give underneath the skin. So if you can't see the yellow anymore, that doesn't mean it's not doing anything. And the same thing with the purple and the blue and all these other colors that we're putting on our doll. We're trying to make a feeling of realism. Layers of paint equal, to me anyway, more realism. They give depth to the skin, where otherwise it just looks flat and abnormal. And her top lip didn't retain any of its color, which is kind of disturbing, because now it's going to be a slightly different color from her bottom lip. Not that her bottom lip kept any either, but it did keep a little. But I think Lucy's supposed to be a full-lipped baby. I'm not sure about that, but she doesn't have a defined lip line, so you have to decide where you're going to stop on your own. I usually stop at the lip line no matter what, because, well, that's what it's there for. But with Lucy, she doesn't have one, so we have to guess at it. So we're guessing at it. I like to give them pretty lips, but when you don't know where to stop, you don't know if the lips are going to come out pretty or looking like, I don't know, a freak show. That looks pretty good to me. I don't really know, but we're going to call that pretty lips. We're going to call it that. We don't know if it's really that, but I'm going to try to give her a little bit of blush too now on her face, because we didn't blush her before. I don't even know if any of my brushes have enough color to blush at all. I found out my pencils are supposed to be here tomorrow, and that means we're going to be backing up to Martin and putting some capillaries on him. I'm anxious to try capillaries, and that means we'll be doing Lucy also, and Everly as well. We'll be giving them capillaries. Well, if I can do it on Martin, let's put it that way. I'm not going to mess up all my dolls with experiments, but Martin's my experiment doll, and I'm going to give him some capillaries, and if I can do it good enough, then I'm going to move on to Everly, who's almost finished. She's not quite finished yet, but she's getting her bake now for her sealer. After I did her enhancements, I put her sealer on, and she had to sit for a while to make sure the sealer was going to be dry enough to bake it. And so now she's getting her first bake on that. That's why we're working on Lucy at the same time. Should have done her lips last, because I'm liable to swipe them accidentally while I'm doing stuff like this. The harder you pound with your kabuki, the more you're going to sort of spread and feather out the paint. See, it even makes a little spot there where it looks like there's hardly any color at all in it. So I'm going to use a different brush and try to put a little more. Well, I can hold my brushes. try to put a little more color there because it's just not taking well. And I think it's because my brushes are out of color. I need to be dipping them. I should have done it days and days and days ago, but I didn't do it. Knowing me like I know myself, I just didn't do it. Okay, Lucy, you're rosy. Now I'm gonna give her a little bump up here on her head, as my sister would call it. Your baby bumped its head. I said, well, that's my little mark. That's her little bit of blush I put up on her forehead. I just put it on toward one side, kind of coming up from the middle, and you can have some sort of a signature mark you like as well. I'm gonna do something now that I haven't been doing on my dolls, and that's giving them eyebrows before they're completed. I'm gonna give her some eyebrows right now because I can pretty much see her brow line pretty good. She's frowning pretty good, and I just put wispy little light eyebrows on them. Those big, hairy, scary eyebrows just make them look funny to me, so I don't go that far with it. If I can get any eyebrows on her at all, that's good enough for me. And they just need to be light. If you ever notice, babies don't really have eyebrows. They just are very, very tiny little hairs there that you can barely even see unless they're super dark colored. You know, their hair is super dark. You don't even hardly see any eyebrows at all. But I do put eyebrows on my dolls, and I put them on similar to that. And they don't look scary, and they don't look like a monster. I've saw some that are so hairy and big, and they look like a caterpillar is on their face. And I just don't think babies need eyebrows like that. So there's her eyebrows. Now we are going to work on some creases, I believe. I'm not going to put any creases on her face because, well, I should model her first if I'm going to model her. Because modeling is going to disturb the creases, I think. Is this the model color I have? Yes, I believe it is. Now, where's that big, ginormous modeling sponge I made? Here it is. I just put one great big hole instead of all those little tiny holes. Here's how the tiny holes look. And, you know, you decide what kind of modeling you like. But I didn't like this little tiny modeling, but I do like this bigger modeling. And I'm going to do that. I think this is that brown brush I was using. I think that's a red brush, actually. I can't tell. But I do have one over here that I can use. I'll use this one. And this is completely made up of the ethnic lip, nails, and blush. Now, when you make an ethnic doll, of course, they're much darker. So their lip and nail color has to be darker too. And this is a reddish brown, and it's a beautiful color. And it probably makes very beautiful lips and nails on ethnic dolls. But I'm using it to model my doll because I wanted a brownish red color to begin with. And I said, oh, well, this looks spot on. I'm going to try it. And here we go. We're going to try it. I'm just going to put some modeling all over her arms and legs, and maybe a little on her hands. And we want to try to make the ring shape show. We don't want to make so much modeling that we've covered up the ring shape. The ring shape is the whole idea of modeling. And you don't want to leave gaping big areas where you don't put it. I mean, it's okay if you don't get it in every spot, but you don't want to leave large areas without any. And then we're supposed to dab it a little bit. I'm just going to use this, and I'm just going to put the tiniest little dab you ever saw, because all you're trying to do is take away a little bit of the wetness. That's all. We don't want to smear it or rub it. We don't want to take away the model. I know you can probably see that. That's some dark, big modeling. I'm going to do this other arm the same way. We're just going to put it all over her arm till it looks what we think is normal. I don't know what is normal. But we are just going to put it all over her like this and try to give her the look of modeling. Once again, we're just going to barely dab it. Where that little black speck is a pencil shaving a little bit. You won't have that on your doll because it's liable to make a color. You know, you shave your pencil and it's supposed to be in that little pencil cup, and then some of it somehow gets out and it's laying on the table and it's a color. It's purple or it's blue or it's whatever color you just sharpened, and then it gets on your doll and you try to rub it off and you're rubbing that color into your doll. So a lot of times I just blow it off when I see it. It'd be kind of random. Turn your sponge a little bit so all of your rings don't just look like they're in a row like they do on this doll. And try not to smear them by rubbing your sponge across the doll. It's like you're stamping. When I was a little kid, I know that probably isn't popular now, but kids would get a stamp set. It would have all these little stampers in it of cute little animals and maybe a little baby doll one, and I don't know, and you'd stamp them on paper and make little scenes and stuff. Oh, we loved doing that. And you'd have this little stamp pad would have the ink on it. And if you press down too hard, the edges around the stamper would also stamp onto your paper, so you had to be really careful not to do that. And the same thing is true here. I pretty much pulled it all off so that it would be lower than the stamp itself, so that you wouldn't have that trouble, but sometimes you can't pull enough of it off, and you end up with edges on the side. And when you have those edges, they're going to show when you stamp it on your doll. And that's not what we want. We only want the circular shape. Irregular, it needs to be kind of irregular looking. Now, it is possible, and people do it all the time, put multiple colors of modeling on their babies. And they usually use different size stampers too. They don't stamp the same pattern with every color. They have different patterns, different sizes, different shapes, so that the modeling looks a little more natural. But I've decided to go with one color because, well, I'm just not a fan of modeling really. So now that she's modeled, it's going to dry pretty quick. So I'm just going to get my pencil out. Where did I put it? I got it out already. Is this it? Black grape, yes. I've ordered a couple more purple colors. I don't know if I'm going to like any of them. And I ordered some red colors too, and I ordered some more of these colors that I do like. And they're supposed to be here tomorrow, so we will see. And we will be doing something with them if they come. I'm going to start with this first limb that I did, and I'm going to just try to put some creases on her. The sharper your pencil, the more precise and thin your line will be. But also, I think, the more it looks like pencil. A little bit duller, and it's a little bit fatter, but it also looks a little more natural to me. That's just me, though. You should experiment with your practice kit. You should always have a practice kit. Bountiful Baby has kits on sale all the time, and you can get a kit. Just wait till they're $19.99. Buy a kit and say buy one you don't like so you don't feel bad about it. And then say, this is my practice kit. I can freely practice on this kit and not worry if I'm going to mess it up. And if I do mess it up, I'm just going to get me a rag with some acetone on it and I'm going to wipe it off. And I have done just one step on my practice kit and then right away just, stripped it. But I just hate stripping. I hate it so bad. That acetone stinks. It's freezing cold. I mean, it's room temperature, but when it gets on your hands, it feels like it's 10 below zero. And your fingers get so cold. And her hands are not taking this very well. Anyway, I dislike stripping so much that I almost just get another kit. And I'll try not to do anything so drastic. I've tried enough procedures that I don't really need to do anything so drastic that I'm going to have to strip it. Usually now I can just go, well, it didn't look all that good, but there it is, and I'll just make a doll anyway out of it. Like Martin. I made Martin. He's got the experimental. I'm still experimenting with the modeling. He's got the experimental model. He's going to have the experimental capillaries. So if I don't like the capillaries, well, he's going to be a fine doll anyway. I'm not going to mess up so bad that I need to throw him out or something, or strip him or anything like that. It's not that serious, I don't think. But you know, it can get quite serious if you're a beginner and you go, oh, that is just disgusting looking, and you just want to strip it off, and that's fine. If you're using air dry paint, usually, I'm going to say usually because it doesn't always, usually alcohol will take it off. And to me, that's just too easy to come off. Kids are going to take baby wipes that contain alcohol, and they're going to want to wipe their baby doll, and it's just going to come off. And sometimes you still have to get out the acetone. If you want to get every bit of that color off of that doll, you're going to have to break out the acetone anyway. But with heat set, you have to use something. Some people use that Goo Gone stuff, but I've heard it's very, very caustically vapory. People have said it's just unbearable. It's so bad. But I don't know. I've never used it. But to me, acetone works. I don't know how that other stuff works. I plan to one day try it, but there's a couple of brands of that stuff. It's made to take gooey things off. Like I know you've had a time when you had something that had a sticker on it. Like it had a great big sticker on it, and you took the sticker off and it was just gooey there, and you couldn't seem to get that gooey stuff off no matter what you did. Well, that's what that's for. It'll take that kind of stuff off. Possibly other things too, but it does take the color off the dolls too. But there's one thing that you need to know about stripping dolls. They will never be the same again. They will never look like a brand new doll, and they will never, you'll never get every single 100% of the paint off. And also, most things that you use to strip a doll with will discolor the vinyl a bit. Not usually severely. You can still make a baby out of them, but like there'll be an area on the head or something where it's a little bit off color. And you're going, okay, what do I do with that? Well, I don't do anything with it. I just go in and paint the doll. And it always comes out pretty good. I just sold a Gabriel that was a complete strip. I had made him some long time ago, and I wasn't satisfied with the way that he looked, and I didn't have another Gabriel kit, so I stripped him and I started over, and he made a right cute kit, a right cute little baby, and he sold just the other day. And now that they have these remakes of these artist kits, they've reran some of them. I got me another Gabriel, and I'm going to do him up right. And I got Lucy, and I got several other dolls that, you know, I want to make into real nice babies. Not that you ever want to make something that's not a nice baby. I'm not saying that, but, you know, you want to try a little harder this time. Because last time I wasn't as experienced. And believe it or not, every doll under your belt, you learn something. And you start to get more confidence, and you want to do more enhancements. Like I said, for probably the first at least year, maybe longer than that I made dolls, there was no idea, I had no intention of ever doing an enhancement. We don't need to do that. That's just a waste of time. And I didn't do any. And I thought my dolls looked fine. They sold. But then all of a sudden, I think it was my friend. She's a great friend for this. She encourages me. And she goes, you can do that. Come on, you got it. You know you do. And she'll encourage me to try it. She'll go on and try it. What harm can it do? You know. you're going to ace it anyway. That's what she tells me. And so she's a great friend. And that's why I do so many nice things for her, because I love that she is willing to encourage me. She encouraged me. She was going to root hair before I was, and she still hadn't even started doing it. And I said, oh, you're going to root hair? I said, I don't think, I think I'm going to keep on with my pencil hair. She said, oh, come on, you can do this. And I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I think I said one time it took me 15 hours to root a tiny little preemie doll's head. And it was horrible looking. But I got through it, and I rooted it, and I hated it after I did it. But I did it. And I said, never again. I'm going back to pencil hair. But then I made another doll, and I go, I don't want to put pencil hair on this doll. I really don't want to. And I decided then I'd pull a lot of my dolls. I had a lot of dolls that I didn't think right from the get that they were ever going to sell. So I made them into what I call nursing home dolls. They are very plain. They don't care if they have enhancements of any kind, so I didn't put any. I just made them. I just painted them, and I dressed them, and I had them ready to go to the nursing home. I said, nursing home's going to get dolls with hair on it, because I'm fixing to put some on it. And so I pulled out a lot of those dolls, and I practiced hair on them. And I started getting a little better. It took me several dolls to even decide I knew how to hold the needle right. I was breaking multitudes of needles, and it was discouraging. Look at that foot. I don't know if it looks good or not, but I'm calling it good. Anyway, I'm talking, you buy a pack of 25 needles, and by the time you're done with that doll, they're either all bent or broken. So I started making myself, as a punishment for not holding the needle right, root with a bent needle until it broke, or until I thought I learned my lesson. Hold the needle right, because I done figured out there's a certain angle you got to hold the needle at, and that's something that somebody can tell you, but you're not going to get it until you do it yourself, until you figure it out yourself. It's like your hands just figure it out. And it's, if you don't hold it at that angle, I still occasionally break a needle because I'm holding it at the wrong angle, but not often, because I've probably rooted 50 dolls by now, and at least 50 dolls, because I rooted about 20, I don't know, that actually did go to the nursing home, and then I've rooted every doll I've made since then, and I've sold a bunch of them, but I've got about, I'm going to say 40 dolls on my shelves in there, and they all have rooted hair. So I don't know how many it actually comes to that I rooted, but it's a bunch. I've rooted a bunch of dolls now, and I'm getting where I can do 1 to 2 hairs a hole now. Before it was like, there is no way I'm getting 1 to 2 hairs in a hole. I can't even get one hair in the head at all. And so I made it my priority to forget about that. Forget about one hair per hole. That's not achievable for me right now. I need to just be able to get 1 hair in the head, and it was so hard. And so I said, whatever amount of hairs go in that hole, I'm leaving them in there. I'm not taking them out, because I think I've made an accomplishment by doing it. And so I concentrated on that at first. Let's get hair in the head, because if you can't get hair in the head, it doesn't matter how many hairs are in each hole. I think you'll agree with me on that. If you got 1 hair in the head or 16 hairs in the head, you're not rooting a doll, really. You're just getting some hairs in the head. I mean, that's simple as pie, you know. Okay, that's got her creases pretty much. But before she goes back in, I'm going to do her nails again. And then we're going to bake her again. And I think she might be ready for some layers. I don't know. She looks pretty ready to me. Don't do it with the pencil. So yeah, we're gonna get her ready for her nails here. Oh, I've got to schedule a pickup for my box. I've got a box. Me and my friend traded a kit, and she sent me the kit in good faith, and it got stolen off of my porch after it was delivered, and that's not her fault. And she wanted to say, oh, don't send me the doll you were going to send me. I said, no, that isn't right. You didn't steal it. You sent it to me. You did what you were supposed to do. And so I'm sending you the doll. She wanted Summer Rain, and I wanted Blake Awake. She had two of them. And so she sent Blake Awake right away, and he got stolen off the porch. I bet whoever stole that package wasn't expecting a doll kid. They could have brought it back, because nobody down here wants a doll kit if they don't know what to do with it, And so anyway, I had promised her an Everly doll too, because I just bought a group of kits from a lady, and it had Everly in it, and I already have Everly, so I told her I'd send her that Everly too. So I was waiting on them to come. That's why I didn't send my box. I was waiting on Everly to come. It took forever, but she finally got here today. So I boxed them up, and they're ready to go. But I haven't made the appointment since I don't have a car and I have to go on that little bus everywhere I go. I try to do as many things from home as I can, and I can get the post office to pick up the box when they're delivering mail, which is great for me because I don't have to try to go out. So I'm going to schedule a pickup later today for tomorrow. I just want to keep almost every doll I make. I'm going, oh, this doll's so pretty, I think I'll keep it. But everything is for sale. Everything. With the exception of 2 or 3 dolls. All the dolls, even the ones I want to keep, are for sale. But they have to pay my price, or I'm going to keep it. I have a doll my grandson made me, and I promised him I would never get rid of it. I have a doll that my niece made me. I also, same thing. And I have 1 or 2 little dolls that I think are really, really special. One of them is Thomas Sleeping. He's no longer available, and I really like him. He doesn't have a COA, but I really like him, and I want to keep him. And so he's not even up for sale. He should be, but he's not. He should be on this up for sale list. And one of them is the very first doll I ever got. I was in a very lonely situation, and I don't know how I even got to it. I used to just scroll through YouTube and watch videos. Every now and then, whatever subject you're watching in videos changes just a teeny little bit to some other video. And pretty soon you're off on some other whole thing that has nothing to do with what you were watching. And that's how I found out about Reborn Dolls. They were doing box openings, and they filmed them. And I thought, oh, those are some cute dolls. And I started looking up Reborns. And I saw one I really liked, and it was $100. Now, this was in 2017. And I ordered it, and it came. And, oh, I just loved it. It looked just like a real baby to me. And that's got her nails and everything. And I was super lonely, and I just spent a lot of time holding that baby doll. And yeah, I talked to it. I was living by myself, and people weren't really reaching out to me. And when I tried to reach out to them, well, they were too busy because they were all workers, and I'm at work. I can't talk right now, that kind of thing, And I just felt super lonely, and that doll made me not feel so lonely. So I can't part with that doll. Anyway, that's enough said about my sad situation. But we're gonna get Lucy in for a bake, and when we come back, I think she's ready for layers. I really do. And oh, she's going to be ready for sealing. I'm going to seal her. It's going to be a while. You won't notice the difference, but it's going to be a while before I come back because she's got to get her sealer and sit up a while and dry, and then I'll bake her 2 bakes, and then we'll come back. And that's why I'm not posting the videos now until they're all finished, because I'll post 2 and then it'll be 3 days before I post the 3rd one, and people go, what happened? Are you sick? And, you know, so to save people from that, I just wait and I post them all at the same time now. So anyway, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.